Welcome back to the channel. This is The Casuals. I'm Jin.
And I'm Saki.
And today's episode is Impractical Questions. We're finally back at it. And I think we're on the ninth episode technically? Yeah, ninth, right? Because we're on question 81.
Yeah, not 9. Yeah, ninth.
So we're on the ninth episode and we only have a minimum of 11 more to go. We'll get there soon. I don't even know if we can do this by the end of the year.
Well, I have 202 right on this current list I have. I don't know if I had any more.
Yeah. And so, assuming that we do have to go we're doing 10 per episode, that would take a minimum of 11 episodes. And I don't know, maybe we could do it because there is technically 52 weeks in the year. So, I guess we'll just have to see. We're definitely not going to do one every week. Like, we're not going to have consecutive episodes of doing this. We're going to space them out, definitely. So, I guess it's really up to chance. And I think it might be able to be possible as long as you don't add any more questions. But if you do, then we're never going to catch up, I think.
Yeah. I think I had a couple more. So maybe like 210. I'll stop at 210.
All right. Well, since these do take a while, given our past record, I guess let's just get started.
All right, I guess first one. How important do you have to be considered assassinated and not just murdered?
Very, very important. Like, extreme important. I think you have, in order to be important, like on the level of importance is being a national figure. In order for it to not be considered a murder, but an assassination. I wonder, actually, now that you mentioned it, right? I wonder if there is specificity in assassinations versus murder, right? I wonder if assassinations are specifically profiled as like political motivations, right?
Okay.
Because what if there is an off chance, right, that someone for some reason, right? Obviously, this will never be able to sit well with people just because if you are that much of an important person, right? But for some reason, right, some person decides to rob your house and shoots you. Let's just say you're like a senator or something, right? But they had no idea that you were the senator, and they clearly state that they had no idea. And you look at their background, they look at your background, whatever, and all that, and you clearly have no political affiliation whatsoever. You were not paid by anyone. You show no records of like online searching of like where this person lived. You literally just, like, by all conclusive evidence, you happen to randomly choose this important figure's house, whatever, you're a senator or something like that, right? And you happen to kill them. That is considered a murder, obviously. I don't think it's considered like a first degree murder because I think it has to be premeditated, right? You have to go in with the intent to kill. I guess that would be a whole different legal argument. But let's just say, for the sake of this conversation, you did not go in there they did not go in there with intent to kill, but they still committed murder. Is that considered assassination? Because, like, they don't know who that person was, you know?
I think in that scenario where you're killing like quote unquote a senator, I think that's just a murder.
Gotcha.
I don't think that's high enough of importance to be an assassination.
Gotcha.
I think you need to be like president status.
President status?
Yeah, because when Abe Lincoln was assassinated, quote unquote, I think that's like maybe the minimum.
Yeah. I think also the word assassination kind of gets thrown, or like kind of like the meaning changed over the time, right? Assassinations were like, well, I don't know actually, because this notion has only been conceived by media, where assassinations were considered more like, what's it called? Confidential, you know? You don't know who committed it, or even if you do, you won't get any evidence otherwise type deal. You know, that's what assassination, secrecy, right? And murder was kind of more used on the outright, like, blatant shown like kind of type deal. I feel like it's just changed over time, and assassinations more closely linked to actual like high importance, like you said, the president, or I guess high profile cases, right? The one that gets talked about a lot is the Panama Papers, right? The journalist who released those was killed, and some people label it as an assassination, some people label it as a murder. You can technically kind of consider both because the Panama Canal revealed a lot of deeply disturbing things about, stuff in the world. Hopefully they don't come after me now that I mentioned it, but
All right, we're not supposed to be talking about that part anyway. That's not part of the question.
yeah. But how high of an importance? I think you have to be, equivalent to the president of a country.
I would say so, yeah, because it's when you they report a senator's been killed or something, it's just like a murder.
Yeah.
I don't consider it an assassination, really, that I can think of.
Yeah.
So I'd say, I think the minimum is the president. I think also it has to. Well, no, because I was gonna say it has to be you don't really find out who it is right away, but they kind of figured it out for at least Abraham Lincoln. They kind of knew right away.
Yeah.
But they considered that an assassination.
Yeah, wasn't his name something William Boots or something like that? Something Boots?
John Wilkes Booth.
John Wilkes Booth, that's what it was. Freaking hell. I don't remember my history that well, to be honest.
But then, Kennedy, that was an assassination.
Yeah. It is technically still contested as to who actually committed the action, but...
It's not, 100% confirmed who it was.
Yeah. And I think also really random fact. I believe, right, being being the president of the United States has one of the highest fatality rates as an occupation.
Well, yeah, if someone don't like you and you're controlling the country,
Yeah, I think it was 4 out of 51 presidents have been assassinated. That's a pretty high rate for a job.
Is it 4? Yeah, it might be 4, I think.
It is 4, I believe. Abraham Lincoln, JFK, I think Andrew Garfield or something like that. Something Garfield, I believe. And then there was one more person that I'm forgetting. I'm pretty sure it was 4 presidents that have been assassinated. U.S. presidents that have been... James Garfield. Sorry, James Garfield. And then William McKinley. Those are the 4.
I was going to say, isn't Andrew Garfield Spider-Man?
I believe...
Another Spider-Man?
Yes. Yes, he was actually. Man, I just kind of put the actor out there, huh?
Be careful, Andrew Garfield.
Apparently, you're president of the United States now. Good luck.
Or in the past. One of your past lives.
Anyways, yeah. But enough sidetracking like I've done already in the first 5 minutes, I guess. Moving on.
Anyway, so yeah, the first question, I guess our answer is president status level.
Yeah.
Of importance. Alright, second one is, why are there things called unsolved mysteries? Shouldn't they be unsolved in the first place to be called a mystery?
True.
Right?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Why are they called that? Yeah. Maybe because it sounds more appealing. Because when you're saying unsolved mysteries, it's kind of it flows out that way. But if you just say mysteries, and then that's it, you know what I mean? I feel it's more an actual those journal or those news sites are do it for the how do you say this? The impressions or clicks, right? Make it sound crazier than it is. I think that's the same case as for mysteries. Unsolved mystery sounds more quote unquote crazy or more appealing than just mysteries.
I guess, yeah.
So I think it's just more a media-driven thing.
Yeah, as I say, it does kind of roll off the tongue better.
Yeah.
other than that, it's I don't understand why they would
Yeah,
call it.
it's just a double. What was it called? Double. I forget there was a term for this. It's not double entendre. I forget. There's like a term for that though. Basically using the same exact meaning or similar very meanings right next to each other, which basically doesn't make any sense in this case. Unsolved mysteries.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the word. I can't either. My brain can't think of it either.
Yeah. Oh well. We shouldn't fry our brains because I'm too dumb for that.
Alright, I guess we could just move on.
Mm-hmm.
Third one is why do they say giving my 2 cents when it's only a penny for your thoughts?
Maybe because those 2 cents are from that thoughts. You double down on it.
So you give 2 thoughts, maybe?
Yeah, I guess, or like a reinforced thoughts. Like maybe you multiply it by. Oh no, that doesn't make sense because I was like maybe you multiply it by another, but then 1 times 1 equals 1. So that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Giving my 2 cents versus a penny for a thought. I never really thought about that. I think one of the main reasons why I never really thought about it is because I think giving my 2 cents was more commonly used than a penny for a thought.
I feel like maybe penny for your thoughts was like maybe more popular in like older generations.
I have a feeling that's the way it was. Yeah.
And then people like newer generations, like even our parents, maybe before that too, giving your 2 cents is kind of like a newer thing, maybe.
Or do you think it's also the same thing as the previous, case where it just rolls, it just sounds better?
I think they both sound fine to me.
I guess, yeah. I feel like I would naturally gravitate more towards this 2 cents than the actual penny for your thoughts one.
Well, that depends on who's saying it. Because if I say to you, let me
Uh-huh.
give you my 2 cents
Uh-huh.
and give you an opinion, but then you would be asking for a penny, you know, penny for your
True.
thoughts. Like you'd ask someone, and then the person telling you would say giving to my 2 cents.
True.
I guess maybe depending on who says it.
Yeah, I guess so, right? That is really strange. I never thought about that before. I guess it's because I was so used to it. Yeah,
Yeah,
strange.
plus I guess giving my 2 cents is more common
Yeah. Ah.
nowadays.
Yeah, for the first time I really don't have an answer or even come up with a silly answer because I legitimately just don't know. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like one of those things where it's like I can't even make a joke answer because it's so like how did it even happen, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Ah, I guess
For me, I would say it depends on who's saying this phrase.
Yeah. Well, it's the first time I really was stumped by a question, to be honest.
I think our very first episode you were stumped by one of them.
Man, maybe I'll have to go watch it to figure out or find out if it was the first episode.
All right. I guess we can move on for that one.
Mm-hmm.
Next one is do mermaids give birth to live children or do they lay eggs?
Live children. Reason being, I don't know because I feel like it's the same case as the platypus. You know, platypuses are freaking weird, right? They're what was it? They like are a mixture of mammals and not mammals at the same time. I think like platypuses were like cold-blooded but also lay eggs. In this case, mermaids are like maybe you think they would lay eggs, but instead they just poop out fish or like give birth like naturally instead of or non egg way.
I guess we're talking about a standard mermaid where it's human top half, like fish bottom half.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe eggs, just because like from the waist down, it's not like.
You know what? Yeah.
Given? maybe.
You are
But if it
right.
was the other way, where it's like fish top half with like human legs, maybe that would be an actual person.
Have you ever seen those? Okay, have you ever seen those images of where like there's a fish but it has arms and legs, like just a fish but arms and legs?
Yeah.
Dude, I just got suddenly like thoughts of that, even though it doesn't exactly match what you say, but like you said. But oh my god, I just suddenly thought of that. Oh my god, that's such a terrifying existence. Because I think mermaids you can kind of portray as like pass it off as oh yeah they still look good and everything because that's what their literally were origins are or something like that. They were like sirens or something like that of the
Yeah.
ocean to lure sailors into their death. Um, but a top fish and bottom half human, my god, that would be horrors beyond the imagination.
And it speaks like English. It could talk. That'd just be freaky.
It would be freaky.
That's just stuff out of your nightmares at that point.
Yeah, you know what? In fact, when you pointed that out, I think yeah, I'm gonna have to agree. It's actually instead eggs, I believe. And plus, technically, it's not too far fetched, in a way to have an egg. I guess, right? Um,
Hmm.
I think with some wacky ass science, it could be achievable. Not the mermaid part, but the egg part.
So yeah, I guess my conclusion is it would be an egg if it's a standard mermaid. How you would think of one.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I think it'd be egg when it was
Like
the
Little
standard
Mermaid.
mermaid.
Let's talk about like the Little Mermaid. What was the princess's name? Ariel.
Yeah, Ariel.
Like that. Like that's standard mermaid. Like I would think an egg because the bottom half of her is a fish.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
All right. So mermaids would lay eggs apparently.
Kind of a weird thought, but oh well.
And this one, I'm sure you know the reason why. Why did they name Donkey Kong that way if he's a gorilla and not a donkey?
Cause he's an ass. Uh, Actually, surprisingly, I actually don't know the reason behind this because I never really looked into it.
Yeah.
I think because I just grew up with it, like I just accepted the way it was, like Donkey Kong. It's like, oh, Donkey Kong. Um, Let me try thinking of an actual reason why he might have been named Donkey Kong. Is it because of a mistranslation?
I think it is, yeah.
I have a
No,
feeling.
I feel like I read the answer somewhere. Let me look it up really quick.
Because I'm thinking it's a similar case with the Princess Legend of Zelda.
Okay. Miyamoto used donkey to convey stubborn in English, while Kong was simply to imply him being a large ape. The name Donkey Kong was intended to convey stubborn ape to the American audience.
Oh. Yeah, I was off. I was gonna say maybe being an ass is kind of like passable, but no, I think that's different than being stubborn. Interesting.
Oh, wait. Now, here's another thing.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying Miyamoto thought Kong meant gorilla in English, so he wanted to use Kong as a last name and came up with Donkey as the first name, which he thought meant stupid in English.
I guess he isn't technically wrong. Well, not well. In technicality and media, he's not wrong because Kong is often thought of like a gorilla,
Or monkey, yeah.
monkey. Especially when it doesn't help that what was it? King Kong existed, I think, back in the day.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if he got some derivative interpretation from that. For Donkey, I could see kind of why, but I feel like that's just a a mistranslation from like culture to culture.
I think so too, yeah.
Interesting. I didn't, huh? Yeah, I never really thought about why Donkey Kong was named Donkey Kong when Donkey is a completely different animal than Gorilla Kong or Monkey Kong.
Yeah. I thought he would be. Well, he's technically an ape, right?
Yes, he should be an ape.
So Ape Kong?
Yeah, I guess.
That just doesn't sound right.
Harambe Kong.
Or wrong.
Oh dear lord.
Let's move on before Harambe. Thoughts and prayers for Harambe.
It was never the same.
All right, so the next one is, if a piece of gum is 10 calories, does that include just the chewing or if you swallow it?
If you swallow it. No, wait, but it would also include the chewing. Ooh. Yes, no. I think it would include the chewing because I think calories are not calculated by. It's not like simply like, oh, I take 10 calories to chew this piece of thing, right? So therefore it negates it out. Um, and I think the actual like no, but no. I'm suddenly thinking more about this because like I was gonna say I don't think the actual the like the gum itself, right?
Uh-huh.
You can't digest it. So it technically cannot be converted into calories because your body does not digest it, right? So I was thinking, where does the calorie come from? Well, it must come from the actual juices that are like kind of packed into the thing, right?
Uh-huh.
But I was like, well, in this case, like, is it actually the juices producing 10 calories? Because there's a lot of drinks out there that are flavored but have technically 0 calories.
True, that's right. There are those like fruit drinks sometimes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But I guess going back to like the 10 calories part, just for some reason we assume that it is somehow in some way it gives you 10 calories, right? I don't think they really care whether or not you chewing it is equivalent to burning 10 calories because it and in the end it still produces 10 caloric like energy for your body to burn off. I don't think it's like, let's just say it takes 10 to chew and like completely finish a gum, but it says 10 calories. I don't think it's going to be like 20 originally, but then they calculated that how much it chews and it equals 10. Because I think they also have to consider because if they did this, they would also have to consider how long each person would chew. So they would have to put like maybe average instead, average 10 calories, or like all these different factors. Like, what if some kid just swallows it like a dum dum, right? Then does that equal 20 calories instead of 10,
Hmm. I think it's the calories come from what they put into the gum.
Yes.
I don't think it has to do with chewing or swallowing the gum.
Yeah.
I think it's just like what's actually inside the stick of gum or
Yeah.
stick of gum.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think that's how they calculate it. And I think that's fairly standard for any food. They just calculate how much calories is actually inside the actual whatever product that they're putting out.
I think that I think that sounds about right. To me, it sounds
Yeah,
about right.
dude. Imagine they try to Dude, imagine how frustrated those like scientists would be. It's like, all right, we gotta calculate by how much it's gonna end up after like they chew this thing, right? So it's like, what's the average amount of calories someone would burn chewing this damn gum, right? It's like, so if someone can go on for an hour, it's like we have to consider that out later. Like, imagine that conversation. That conversation would have been crazy to hear.
Can you imagine the nutritional facts on everything then? It's
Yeah.
just like a mini booklet. Like, if you chew a gum for 5 minutes, it's this many. If you chew it for 10 minutes, it's just like, oh my gosh. Just goes on.
Just gives you a freaking manual, like, here you go.
And that's just gum. Can you imagine
Yeah.
everything else?
Oh my god. Imagine what's it called. Blah, blah, blah. Imagine, dude, just drinks in general.
Oh yeah, drinks would be crazy. Those things are, especially like bobas or whatever. How many
Yeah.
calories are in those things?
Like, god, dude, that'd be a nightmare. Alright, I guess moving on.
All right, next one. If you drop soap on the floor, is the floor clean or the soap dirty?
So, soap dirty? Because my hypothetical thought, right, is if you were to drop soap on dirt, you pick it up, dirt would stick on the soap.
Right.
The dirt on the floor, I don't think gets any cleaner. But there is dirt stuck on that soap. So technically, the soap is dirty by that look, right?
Hmm.
And I
But it's
think
also removing dirt because it's being stuck to the soap, right?
true, but I guess yeah. But do you consider removing something clean compared to actually like wiping down and disinfecting it? I guess would be another way to look at it.
Well, we're not talking about disinfecting. We're just talking about that one spot.
That one
Like
spot,
it would
gotcha.
be cleaner.
Yes, by all definitions, yes, it'd
Okay.
be cleaner.
I would
uh,
say a little bit of both.
yeah, I would say definitely it's both, just because it's kind of like double-sided tape or something, you know,
Hmm.
where it's like it's gonna get both sides, but one is gonna get dirty and one's gonna get cleaner. So it's like one is gonna get dirtier, one is gonna get cleaner. Um, so yeah, both, I guess. Right, both sides can argue. And I think this like argument can go on for ages too, right? Because I think by all intents and purposes, both would be right.
I feel like this would be a funny question for like those debate clubs in like high school or whatever.
Oh yes, or those people who really love arguing about everything.
Yeah.
You just spring that question between two of them, and you just walk away.
Yeah.
You just see the chaos unfold. In fact, their argument gets so heated, it creates like a mini fusion, whatever, and like energy starts producing, and then it's like whoa. It gets so heated, as they say.
I'd like to see that. You like start that conversation and then you just walk away and then like maybe 5 minutes later they're just like shouting at each other.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever encountered that kind of situation before in my life.
I don't think I have either. Thinking about it.
Maybe we should try that one day. Just find two people who can argue and just give them that prompt and see what happens.
All right, I guess the next one. So that answer is yes. Just
Yes.
purely yes. If you drop out soap on the floor, is the floor clean or is the soap dirty? Yes.
Yes.
And the next one, oh, this one's funny. If Apple made a car, would it still have windows?
No, it ain't, because you know what Apple's like. Instead, they're going to call it like Apple Vision.
Yeah, so you can see out.
Yeah, they're just gonna, dude. You know their asses is gonna call it Apple Vision. They ain't calling it Windows.
All right, Apple, make a car and let us know what you think.
I think they were trying to make a car before.
I think they were, yeah.
I'm pretty sure there was. I remember this very specifically back in like, I think high school, where Apple tried making a car.
And it failed miserably.
Yes, it failed miserably. In fact, from 2014 through 2024, it was canceled recently. The code, it was called it was an electric self-driving car codenamed Project Titan. But those are rumors, if I'm correct. Oh wait, no, it's not even rumor. It apparently has all these articles confirming that there was a project called Project Titan for car. It was never, Apple had never openly discussed about it. They were working on it internally, and apparently they actually had 66 driverless cars.
Huh.
But they eventually canceled it. Wow, in February 2024.
So like last month.
Yeah, they just canceled. All just canceled on working on the car because they were trying to, apparently, according to inside research, they were actually trying to release it by 2028.
Huh. Well, I don't know, man. Apple just put the USB-C on their phone and they're like, it's new, it's innovative. I'm like, everyone else has been doing it for years, my dude.
Yeah. Interesting. I did not know they were still continuing in it. Until recently, that is.
I thought they gave up on that a while ago.
Interesting, yeah.
Alright. I guess next one is when we yawn, do deaf people think we're screaming?
No. Because, well, I guess it's kind of context matters. We're like, if they were deaf from birth, right?
Uh-huh.
Then I don't think they'll know. They don't think that you're screaming. They'll just be thinking like some sort of noise is coming out. They just don't know what it is. So going on that assumption, no, they won't know that you're screaming. That's my guess. It's kind of like the same conundrum. How do you describe colors to a blind man that's been blind his whole life?
True.
Unless your scream is really freaking powerful and it's so powerful enough that they could feel the vibrations of it. But I feel like if you have reached that point with your scream, you'd be killing people around you.
It'd be kind of funny, to be honest. Your scream's so powerful, the vibrations just kill someone.
Oh, well, rather, no, your yawn is so powerful. Sorry, yeah.
Oh, sorry, yeah, your yawn.
Your yawn's so powerful, you just start killing everyone around you. Jesus, that'd be such terrible and horrifying superpower at the same time. But yeah, because, like, I know there has been reports where, like, the deaf kind of could, quote-unquote, hear by, like, having vibrations go through their, like, actual ears, like direct contact vibrations. Because I forgot who it was. It might have been Beethoven, where he was going deaf, but he managed to still play in tune because he like got a metal bar and put it in his mouth, and then like it connected to the piano, and those vibrations would go through, and then he would be able to quote unquote hear the sound.
Huh. That's interesting. Never even heard of that one before.
Yeah. So I would assume if your yawn was so strong in terms of vibration, I feel like they can technically observe sound that way, and they might know you're yawning, but I feel like at that point they're just like, this person's trying to kill me or something.
That would make sense, I guess.
But yeah, I don't think they'll think you're screaming. I think they'll just be like, strange look, huh? But they'll probably have seen it throughout their lives, and they just won't think much about it, I guess.
They probably ask like if you're okay.
Yeah, because tears are coming out too. It's like, is this man in pain? Is this man like just crying, shouting out to the heavens?
Yeah, I feel like they'd probably be more confused.
Yeah, definitely. Are we on to the last question?
Yeah, this is the last one.
Ooh, nice timing.
Last question for this episode. If you're waiting for the waiter, aren't you the waiter?
Yes. 100% you are the waiter, baby. Get out there and get that money. just straight up be like, alright, I'm getting paid now for this. But yeah, I think that's strange too if you think about it. Because like, the position's called a waiter, right? Mm-hmm. But they are not waiting. Well, I guess it might actually come from the term of waiting on someone, right? Or you're waiting... No, that doesn't even make sense. Because if you're waiting on someone, then you're doing the one that's waiting. So you're still technically the waiter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know why it's called waiter, now that I think about it. I guess this one will be... I'm pretty sure there is an origin for this one.
I'm sure there is.
Oh! There is. So in the late 14th century, wait was in the verbiage. It was, or in the verb use, it was attendant or watchman, and that combines with so it's like the attendant watcher, Um, hence, it's like a sense of servant who waits at the table for their, lord's command.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it just transforms slowly by slowly into like the person who serves food and everything like that. Um, but yeah, and I think apparently it has originated from the French word called gaitier. I don't know how to say it. It's Aiteor. It means, according to this person, it's just one who waits or attendant, and it eventually just evolved into waiter in Middle English.
And there's a whole backstory on it. Wow.
Yeah, honestly, like just delving into the world of words is like such a vast like amount of like stories, just because some words just evolve into really strange outcomes.
Like waiter.
Yeah. Or and then some words just spawn out of nowhere, like yeet. It just came into being.
There's a funny thing. Side tangent about the word yeet.
Uh-huh.
You know when you throw something, you yell Kobe for accuracy and yeet for distance.
Yeah.
So I just thought I heard that somewhere. I'm like, that makes sense.
Yeah, actually that makes sense.
You go Kobe when you want to like try to make it, but then you
Yeah.
go yeet when you're just trying to huck something across the room.
Did you know yeet was actually listed as word of the year at one point?
No way.
It was indeed put as the word of the year. Word of the year. I forget what year it was. It might have been 2019.
That's great.
2018.
That's just great.
But apparently, in the Merriam-Webster dictionary, they have also added definitions for baller, cringe, and pumpkin spice.
Wait, pumpkin spice, really?
Yes.
Interesting.
And 2023, Riz was the word of the year.
Wait, what was the word?
Riz, R-I-Z-Z.
Riz, really?
Yes, according to Oxford, that was their word of the year.
Huh.
Yeah, I guess, English is a very strange language and concept too. The fact that we can someone can come up with the word yeet and it just becomes synonymous with chucking or hucking something at, far distances or as hard as you can. It's kind of strange if you think about it.
It is.
But yeah. So to go back to waiter, we had sidetracked enough. It had original language meaning for Old French, then translated into somewhere in Middle English, and then it slowly just evolved from there and turned into waiter.
All right. Well, more you know, I guess.
I still would like to argue that technically you are the waiter if you're waiting for your order.
Or if you're waiting for the waiter.
Yeah. I guess that's why maybe the term server is being used more.
I guess, yeah. Well, I guess the waiter would be waiting for people to like
True.
win, so they're a waiter, I guess.
Damn, everyone's just a waiter, huh?
Yep.
Oh well. So those were actually some pretty good questions, honestly. Those were a lot more like, what is the actual implications of these, right?
I thought we were just gonna be like, yep, nope, yep, mm-hmm. Gone in like 5 minutes.
And then you know me, I always get I always get sidetracked with whatever conversation because it's like some certain subject comes up, ooh, this relates to another subject, and I just go off on a completely different tangent. That happens way too many times with me and you. And me in general, like me specifically, like this is a me problem. Maybe I gotta get better at that. But yeah. I guess that is all for now. We actually went on for a long time this time. I think it's because it's been a while since we've done it. But it was nice doing this again. Do you have any final word or closing words you want to have?
We got plenty more questions.
Way too many. So I'll end it here. So I'm Jin.
And I'm Saki.
And this is The Casuals, and we will see you next time. Bye bye.